Investigation 3.1 of variables and patterns. What we are looking at is on page 49. It's talking about rules and equations. Now the scenario as to where we are in our story of this whole creating a bike tour is our 5 college students have basically come to near the end of their trip, and there is a amusement park that is near one of the stops. So they decided they want to stop there, and then they'll basically drive from there to the next site. So the question is, one, how long can they stay there? How much is it going to cost to do certain things? And then how do they get back? All right, and how fast do they have to be going to get back, and how long will it take them to get back? So these are all things that they're trying to consider. Okay, so that's on page 49, and on page 50, they talk about an equation as to how to figure this out. So they're talking about equations and they're talking about rules. So what I want you to do is you're going to read that information, and we will actually discuss that in class. What the video is going to talk about, how do you complete the table and the graph. Now, if you remember, in our last investigation, investigation 2, when we was talking about Rocky and Adriana, or Rocky and Adrian, we were talking about how we put a whole bunch of people's information into one table and how to put several people's information onto one graph. And that's basically what we're doing here. So what we have is, according to what 3.1 says, on their way back, so from the amusement park back to whatever their destination is, they try to calculate how long the drive home will take. So they use the table and graph to estimate their travel time for different average speeds, because they have to basically find the speed in order for them to get back by a certain time. So they came up with 3 different speeds: 50, 55, and 60. And they basically started filling in the table. They don't want this to take more than 6 hours. So the question is, can they get where they need to go, which is 320 miles away, in 6 hours? Okay, going at which of these speeds can they go at in order to reach that? So here we go. So the first one is 50. And time of 0, 0, 1 hour, they would have gone 50 miles. 2 hours, 100. 3 miles, 150. 4 miles, 200. 5 miles, 250. 6 miles, 300. Okay, so again, they're trying to reach 320. So you can see after 6 hours, going 50 miles an hour, they won't make it. All right, so get that completed, and we're going to go to the next one. A distance for a speed of 55 miles per hour. So at 0, 0. After 1 hour, it should be at 55. And guess what I'm going to do now? Pull out my nice little calculator. It magically appears on my screen. And 55. So 1 hour is 55. 2 hours will be another 55. So plus 55. So that's 110. And if I just keep hitting, ooh, I didn't mark, did it? Okay. 165 for 3. 220. 275. 330. All right. So they can go a speed of 55 miles per hour and get where they want to go. Remember, they're trying to get to Atlanta, which is 320 miles away. All right, now, one little thing that I want to point out before we get too far ahead. When we talk about speed, and I'm going to use the 50 mile per hour one. So speed, 50 miles per hour. What that basically means is that I am traveling, so this equals traveling 50 miles every hour. Oh my God, my handwriting's horrible. All right, every hour. So that's basically what speed is. Speed is not really a measure of speed. Speed is really a measure of how much distance you can cover in a certain amount of time. So all this, oh, you're going 80 miles an hour, 90 miles an hour. 90 miles an hour just means that you will cover 90 miles in 1 hour if you continue going at that particular speed. So it's not actually a speed, it's just telling you how much distance you will cover. All right, so hopefully that will clarify up what it is that we're doing here. All right, so the last one is the distance for a speed of 60. So 0, 60, and I'm not going to use the calculator this time. This is easy. All right, so what we're actually doing is doing 6 times 2, which is 12, and then we just add the 0 on, so 120. And the next one is 6 times 3, which is 18, and we add the 0. 6 times 4, 24, add the 0. 6 times 5, 30, add the 0. 6 times 6. Okay. So that's basically what you're doing. So if I was to backtrack, the way that I got all my 55s, I basically did 1 times 55, 2 times 55, 3 times 55. All right, so you kind of get the point. That's basically what I was doing. What I was doing on the calculator was, if you remember, if you're adding the same number over and over again, that's the same as multiplication. Okay? So we're going to look at all this information a little bit later, a little bit differently. All right, so now we have our table completed. So the next thing that we have to do is take all this information and put it on a graph, which is what we're going to do in the next segment.